Well, we're back, Morgan. What can I say? What
Did
can
we
I
ever
say?
go away? Did we ever go away, Jez?
Well, that's very true. I think we've kept ourselves busy over the summer, haven't we? Welcome back, everyone, to Beyond the Barclay for this first episode of the season. I am joined, of course, with the coolest man in Durham, Morgan Hewitt.
You've moved
How
away
are
from
you, Morgan?
illustrious. You've moved away from illustrious, Jez.
Yeah, no, I think I'm going with the coolest man in Durham at the moment. I'm sure it'll be something else before long. Look, let's introduce our guest today. I'm absolutely thrilled and delighted to be able to welcome Neville Townsend to the chat. Hi, Neville. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks, Jez. And yourself?
Yeah, good. Thank you so much for asking, and thanks once again for agreeing to come on tonight. I'm really looking forward to hearing more about the supporters group that you run. So perhaps if you'd just like to introduce yourself and talk a little bit about that supporters group that you're involved with.
Hi, yes, Neville Townsend, chairman of Forces2Canaries. We've been in existence since 2003, and it was started back in, like I said, 2003 by a few guys in the Royal Navy, and I joined the group in 2008, and then I became chairman in 2011. I was still working at the time. I didn't really want to take over, to be fair, but there was a danger that the group would fold and disappear. And I thought, well, that's too good a group to let disappear. So I took over the reins, so to speak. And at the time, we had 60 members.
60,
and now,
sorry, 60 members.
60, yeah, 60. And then as of yesterday, we've got 310.
Amazing.
So yes, the membership has gone up, and I'm very proud that our membership has steadily gone up, and I'm very proud of the group as a whole. We do stuff for charity, which we'll come on to later. But no, I'm very, very proud of Forces2Canaries.
No, it's brilliant. I think as well as it must be such an important group for members of our armed forces that are currently serving, that are out in various far-flung corners of the world, and that they can have that connection to Norwich City through a powerful group that everyone's sort of got a common sort of goal, haven't they? And equally for ex forces like I assume yourself, that can kind of relive those memories, positive memories. Is that fair to say?
Yes. I'm veteran Royal Navy. Never say ex, but veteran Royal Navy. I did 23 years. And then I did about 14, 15 as an RAF reservist. But yes, we've got that big connection with all our members, serving and veterans. And I like to email them once a month at least with what we're doing, what the club's doing, any events, and just to keep them involved, And I think it kind of works. Like I said, we got 310 on our emailing list, and and I always ask for feedback from the guys. So yes, and we try and meet up as much as possible, but it's difficult with everyone being spread around the world,
Of
course.
Do you do any video groups or any kind of like video chats, that kind of thing?
No, we don't, Morgan. What we do have is 2 WhatsApp groups, one for general chat, and then one for a ticket exchange.
Okay.
And I'm particularly pretty pleased when I set up the ticket one, because anyone who had a season ticket and wasn't going to use it could put it on there, and one of our members who hasn't got a membership or who happened to be back could use it, and that worked well for the last 3 or 4 years. But the ticketing system has changed, so I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work, but I think it's still okay, because guys say, well, yes, you can use mine, and I think they just have to go through the new procedure and do it that way. So we have about 65 members in each of those WhatsApp groups, and as you can imagine, being veterans and military, some of the banter that's on the WhatsApp group, the general is different, although we have 3 or 4 women in there, so it is tempered. It has been tempered with the addition of, quite rightly, and welcome addition to the ladies joining.
Of course, yeah. And I think you made the point about the ticketing there, and I think that's a really valid point. something that I do. I have a season ticket. Live in Nebworth, in Hertfordshire.
Sorry, where'd you live, Jez?
I'm in Nebworth in Hertfordshire.
Right.
So it takes me a couple of hours to get to the games each home game that I visit. So I actually share my ticket with someone else now. So I'm having to go through that procedure of, sending the ticket to have on his wallet every game that he's going to attend. I think the club should really, and I hope they've thought about this, but supporters groups like yourself that, you've got that sort of ticket share scheme that you run and run brilliantly by the sounds of it. But they should really, what's the word I'm looking for? Like accommodate that kind of scheme where people are going to benefit from going to those games.
Yes, I think that's right. But they've set up, and we helped set it up, myself and our welfare officer Michelle, back in February, the Armed Forces and Veterans Membership Scheme. That was launched recently, and I believe they've got somewhere around 170, 180 members, and that helps them become members and will get them priority ahead of season ticket holders, I believe, for tickets, home tickets, if they're not already in those groups 1, 2, and 3. So, and also a little bit of belonging to a membership group. So we hope will be a success going forward, and I'll be interested to hear the numbers next time I speak to Elliot at Carrow Road.
Fantastic. So, I mean, jumping into some of the questions that we set you, and we've already established the group was started in 2003. I mean, what inspired? I think you said it wasn't yourself, but I'll ask the question anyway. What inspired you to start Forces2Canaries, and how did the group come about initially?
Yeah, well, yeah, like I said, I wasn't there at the beginning in 2003, and there was a few guys who set it up. Basically Royal Navy guys, and they set it up, and they must have felt there was an opening for a Norwich City fans for veterans and serving personnel in the military, and they set it up and took it forward. And like I said, and also I'd like to mention that we got Lord Dannett as our patron. General Lord Dannett is our patron, and since 2016 I collared him at an event up at the Britannia Barracks and asked him, and pretty much cornered him actually. And he's a lovely guy, really nice guy to talk to, and he said yes, and he has been, and he comes to our events and that. But yeah, sorry, I'm jumping about a little bit. No. Guys. But yeah, and then as I said, I took over in 2011, and slowly but surely we are where we are now.
I mean, how much work has it taken to, I guess, segue into your kind of, I'm going to use this word out of context, but dynasty? Because I know that from running this podcast with Jez, it is challenging to kind of keep things afloat. So how can you talk us through your process? What happened? How it's kind of evolved? How much effort it's taken? Because I think yeah, exactly. It's important.
Yeah, I've still got a little bit of hair, not much, but yeah, at times you do, come out with some expletives and think, really, but I'm really happy now because we've gone through some changes and I've got a good committee now. It hasn't always been the case that there's been a committee, but it hasn't been as proactive as it should have been. But now I've got people. We got a brilliant social media manager, a welfare officer, and 3 representatives for the Army, Navy, and RAF to push the word out, and we're all pushing in the same direction. So I'm very confident about that. But yeah, it has been at times you think, really, and you do think I'm pushing against a closed door here, and I think a lot of it is because people are spread far and wide. And that's I'm going back a few years. I would say in the recent years, the last 5 6 years, things have been a lot better. So yes, but also with everything else I've got going on, so it does tend to pile up sometimes. Do
you think that it's gotten better because the nature of technology makes it easier to keep in contact with others, or do you just think it's become more popular because the word spread?
I think a bit of both, really. Yeah, the word has spread, which we're pleased about, and we tried our best to spread the word. But technology, yes, like you mentioned about video, we don't do that, or haven't. We did. Sorry, I stand corrected. We did in COVID. We did. In COVID. Used to watch games and that, but that died a death. But no, you know, at the moment we're quite happy with the WhatsApp groups, emails, and then our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter accounts are being managed well. So I think, and the website is run by my son. Thank you, Michael. So yeah, at the moment we're happy where we're at, social media wise. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, brilliant. I think, you know, sort of, you mentioned we're jumping around a little bit, but I think it'd be quite good to explore when you were serving, Nev, and clearly a Norwich fan back then, I would assume. Perhaps talk to us about a little bit about your experiences when you were serving, and sort of, I don't want to use the word highlights, but perhaps sort of highlights, and perhaps any stories that you could tell us about, specifically any sort of Norwich City supporting related stories whilst you're out wherever you went to.
Yeah, one springs to mind, which isn't a good one. We was out in Camp Bastion in Afghanistan, and I'd taken the Forces2Canaries flag with me, which I'd found out previously was would have cost me £1,000. Well, no, it was to replace it would cost £1,200, and the insurance company wouldn't insure me on it. But I took it out to Afghanistan, and that was the 7-1 against Colchester.
Oh, no.
So we went in to eat that evening, and there's about 3 or 4 of us who supported Norwich, and there was lots of cries of, anyone want a 7-Up? You know, is there 7 of them tonight, or just the 4? You know. And yeah, we took a lot of stick over that for the next 3 days. It really was. Yeah, I didn't go out much unless I had to, type thing. But apart from work, yeah. So that was funny. Yes, I remember being down the Falklands when in '85 when we beat Sunderland in the Milk Cup. Yeah, in the little Milk Cup, and. So my father sent me a video, and once I got that after the game, I watched that over and over again on board ship, you know. So that was Brazen, I think I was on then, yeah. With yes, yeah, we'll go into that anyway. Yes, so that was 2 things Norwich City related that spring to mind straight away, really. One good and one not so good.
No, amazing. Yeah, Morgan, I think it's time for the next question, sir.
Sure. So what are some of the unique, I mean, you sort of touched on that briefly a second ago, but what are some of the unique challenges and rewards of running a supporters group specifically aimed at armed forces members and veterans?
Yeah, yeah, I might have touched on this already. With our membership being spread far and wide, getting guys together can be problematic. But on the plus side, we got those 2 WhatsApp groups with over 60 members in each. And it's always good when we do get together for events like at Christmas to see all the guys together. And they're all taking the mickey out of each other, because don't forget, it's the Navy, the Army, and the RAF. And most of us are veterans, a few serving, but most of us are veterans. So the banter's good like that. So so it's good to see everyone when we get together, which in my opinion is not enough at the moment, and we need to do more. But I'm trying to remedy that.
I think you touched on the on your fantastic football career earlier on. I mean, I guess, you know, my idea would be to have, you know, a membership Army versus Navy football match at some stage.
Well,
I don't know if
yeah,
you remember.
what about the RAF, Jez? Can't forget the RAF.
They can referee and support, can't they?
Well, you're funny to say that. On the 10th of August, which isn't far away, Forces2Canaries is playing the Royal Tank Regiment Veterans FC.
Oh, amazing.
At the FDC on the afternoon. So we play Millwall on a Saturday. So Sunday, we're over there. I've got about a squad of 18. There's 4 of us who are over 65, so that should be interesting. I don't think we'll be playing much, but yeah, and I've got 14 serving and veteran members, not on Forces2Canaries, but they're military. Most of them are Forces2Canaries, but so yeah, and about 4 civilians that I drafted in who are a bit younger, because these tank regiment guys, they're all in their 30s or 40s, and they are quite, and they play regularly. So we're going to get something kicked, I think, if we're not careful. But anyway, we'll give it a good go. So
best of luck.
You could get Jez could be a Jez is always up for a kick around, aren't you, mate?
Yeah, I know where the goal is.
I've heard you're pretty good with the ball.
Did you want me to mention about the walking football or not? Or
yes, please. Yeah. That's what I was
right. Well, pin your ears back, because this could take a while. Right. Norwich Soccer Seniors, based at the FDC at Bowthorpe, has been going since 2014. And I took over as chairman in 2021, and we have now 160 members. We're now onto our third trophy cabinet that sits there in the FDC. The FDC is a brilliant facility, one of the best walking football facilities in the east of England. I'm biased, but but we're lucky that we're a lodger unit there. And I'm playing in the morning. There'll probably be about 24 of us. But this week we'll have about 110 come through the doors on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday total.
Brilliant.
We just, the standard has just gone up and up and up. And like I said to you earlier before we did this, that in Birmingham at the weekend, we won a national cup for 60s. We had our summer tournament on the 20th of July. We had 29 teams spread over 50s, 60s and 70s. We were very fortunate. We won all three groups. But the most important thing is we raised £5,000 for 2 cancer charities.
Amazing.
And I could talk all night on it. It's just, and guys who are 50 plus, if you said 10 years ago, you'd be doing this, they just laughed at you. It's really, like I said to you, one guy's 82. He's had a mild heart attack. He's come back, and he's quite a good footballer actually. And it's just great. And I think, getting 3 hours of exercise a week, it can't be doing you any harm. It's got to be doing you good,
I think so. I mean, funny enough, actually, the FDC, I actually used to work there, so I know the facility very well. When it was in its previous guise of Power League, I might add, and it was the sand-based AstroTurf. You used to cut your knees up as soon as you walked onto the pitch.
Yeah.
But no, it's a great facility. It's a really good location, and I think you talk so passionately about walking football, and it's something that I'm really keen to push, because I think as well as the physical element, it's the mental element as well. These men probably all women don't have the opportunity to go and speak to people, and having that ability to go and play football for however long you play for, probably go for a tea or coffee or something slightly stronger afterwards. It's brilliant. It's such a good community, and I think people like yourself and all of those organisers should be thanked and congratulated for what you do for our local community. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. But before anyone says, "Oh, what about the ladies?" There is a Norwich Women. Michelle runs it, and I've speak to her on and off. But if we get any requests from ladies wanting to play, we say, "There we go," signpost them to Michelle. So there is that. If the case comes and Michelle says, "Well, there is case for another ladies team," then great, we'll set one up. But you're right, the mental side of things, mental health, not all our guys have got partners and that, so they might be on their own. And also if they get injured, I know I tore my quad a few months ago, and when you're out, it's horrible because you miss it so much. You get so used to playing. And so for the old mental health purposes and that, but we have a good welfare officer in place. I convinced him to become welfare officer, and he does a great job. And we always make sure if we've got anyone injured, someone brings them up just to check how they are, and we've got one guy, he's an Ipswich fan, but he's a nice guy, but he's going to be out over 2 years with back problems. We occasionally I'll ring him up or message him just to make sure he's okay, so even though he's an Ipswich fan, but he's a nice guy.
So if just for viewers or listeners out there, how can they get involved in the walking football, Neville?
Yeah, we have a website, and just go onto the website and email myself, and we'll probably send you to our head of referees. We've got 13 referees, and we bought them a load of pink shirts to referee. So because we play in either white or black or yellow and black when we play, so the referee's got pink, so there's no confusion there. They're lovely colour. We paid for them, but we got 2 head referees, Matt and Dick, and they'll do inductions. So you come along, because some of the guys, probably never played football when they were kids, but they think, oh, I'll come along, and we do assess them. And if we think, well, they're going to struggle with us, but there's other places to go to, Age UK, UEA. So we won't just say, oh, no, you can't play with us, but we will signpost them to someone that we think that probably would cope better.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
So what is the website? Sorry,
Norwich Soccer Seniors website.
Okay.
I can't remember the actual website address, but it's Norwich Soccer Seniors. And if they just go on there, my email address will be on there.
Brilliant. And we'll obviously post that when this episode goes out.
That'd be great.
We'll post the link in the comments, etc., description even. So perhaps moving on, if that's okay. So how does Forces Canaries help strengthen the connection between serving personnel and Norwich City Football Club, especially for those stationed far away from Carrow Road?
Sorry about this. Yes. Sorry.
No problem.
I got this down. You'll have to edit that. I update our members via email at least once a month. And as I said, on all the events and that, and I like to think with the membership that's increased the connectivity with the club. And I'm very fortunate that I have a good relationship with the head of supporters and Norwich City, Elliot King. If I ring him up and got a problem, he'll answer, and we go and have a coffee occasionally. So it's very good to know that I've got that connection. And we've also our welfare officer. She is at the moment the chair of the supporters panel. So.
Wow.
So that's good. And the supporters panel, I want to say it was the guys that's in now and the work they're doing is good. But some of the time in the past, the panels haven't always been as effective as they could have been, should we say? Yeah. But I think we're getting there now with this particular supporters panel over the last 2 or 3 years.
Brilliant. Nice. I think that's really good. And I think, we've spoken to several people that have that kind of relationship with the club in terms of their supporters groups as well, haven't we, Morgan? And I'm thinking of Nicole Nichols, for instance, that we've heard, the women's side of things. And do they offer like that, how do I put it, sort of like monthly touch point where you'd be invited to Carrow Road to speak to, I think you just mentioned, actually, to be fair, that you have a coffee with them and stuff, but is there that ability to meet up with other supporters groups was more my question, to sort of discuss ways and means of how to run these groups?
I'm not aware of that at the moment. I know the supporters groups on the supporter panel and ourselves, we would like to be on there, get on there and have a voice on there, but at the same time meet up with other supporter groups. And fingers crossed that happens in the next couple of months. But no, the social club run by Diane Blazer, we have a good relationship with them. Very good. They do a lot for charity as well, CSF, and they're very good organisation. But we have a good relationship with them, that's for sure.
Yeah, and we will. Sorry to Morgan, just to interrupt before you go there. We will be speaking to Ian Thornton at some point in the near future as well, from the CSF. So we're really looking forward to exploring the efforts that you guys go to see how they get implemented. So that's going to be really exciting. Sorry, Morgan.
No, I was about to say, like, Neville, were you at the on the Stall City collectors fair?
Yes.
You were
yes, that's where I met you guys, wasn't it?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
can you explain a little bit more about how that came about as well? Because I think that's a really interesting point, how it feeds back into the CSF, on the Stall City,
Can I just go back though, Jez and Morgan, in Thornton, you mentioned we had a meeting with him recently, him and Jackie. I've known them for years. We've attempted between us to get some initiatives at the CSF going, but the finance hasn't been there. But we had a really good productive meeting recently, and they do great work up there. So yes, we do have a good relationship with the CSF there. Yeah, the on the stall. So the guys on the stall, Jacob, Andy, and Sharon, thank you. I always forget her name. I shouldn't do. So I've known them for ages and that. And can I just tell you a story about in Germany pre-season with those guys? Can I?
Yeah, please do.
Right. So we was going to pre-season in Germany, picked up this wagon that was used for funerals, basically, for people to follow the hearse. And so he picked us up, and we went down to get the train across, and we happened to look behind, and it said, so there was 2 stickers on the back, and it said, "Say no to Sharia law," and the other one was Trump 2024.
Oh dear.
And none of us are, when we opened up flew up the back, put the kit in, don't want to pay the blind bit of notice. So we all went. So anyway, there we were on the Autobahn in Germany, and Sharon and Andy come past, and you could see their look on their face when they saw this on the back, and then they realized who was inside this minibus. It was us. And so we did explain to them, and we saw them at a game, but it wasn't ours, and we don't, condone those. So yes, yes, but no, I've known them for a long while. Same with Billy Pointer.
Yeah,
he was on that trip as well. He was on that trip.
Yeah, I mean, me and Jez recently did a film with on the stall promoting the community shop. And it's pretty well received. But we're going to head out and harass Billy Pointer and his shirt collection soon, because it's all interlinked. And that's what I love. That's what I love about this whole thing. Your stall was there on the collectors fair, and so was Billy Pointer. But it's all about raising awareness of the club, but not just the club, but the community surrounds it. I don't mean CSF itself, but just everyday people like us trying to raise awareness of each other in that sense.
Yes.
Yeah. Please tell us more about.
Billy was on that trip as well. And now I remember, Billy was there as well. So he'll back up my story, reference the Sharia law and Trump 2024. But no, again, I've known Billy for many years, and he's a great lad, and he has a fantastic collection of shirts. It's unbelievable, you know, especially that one. My favourite one is Kevin Keelan, being of that era, when he's got KK on there, so he won't say how much he paid for it. But the trouble is, these shirts, they're only worth what someone will pay for them. But I dread to think. Well, I hate what his collection's worth. And fair play to him. He must have a very understanding partner. That's all I can say. all these shirts in his book gaff. So,
and they're all match worn, so they must smell. And that's If we ever go visit Billy's house with the camera crew, we're all gonna have to wear gas masks, because there's no way I'm dealing with that smell.
I think I've still got one in the loft. Actually, you can borrow if you want, from my military guy.
I appreciate it.
Oh dear. So I guess sort of you'll see this, Nev. We like to jump around a little bit. So
yeah, that's great. That's great.
When you were a wee nipper, I wouldn't be so brave as to guess your age.
I don't mind telling you. I'm 67, so I don't mind telling you.
Okay. So what were some of your memories of a young child supporting Norwich, and who are your sort of standout heroes? Any sort of big games that you can remember from back in the day?
Yeah, Kevin Keelan springs to mind. Ted McDougall, Martin Peters. People forget he played a lot of games for Norwich. And so the cup final against Tottenham at Wembley, getting punched in the face by a copper at Carrow Road when we played Chelsea, and the fog descended, and the game got abandoned. And so I was walking out, and I got split up from my mates, and a lot of the Chelsea boys were in sheepskin coats in those days, and they were pushing through the crowd and that as if they, weren't there, and arrogant as they were. And this copper went to grab one, and he missed, and he punched me in the eye.
Oh.
So, and by the time I got home, the old man said, "So what you been up to?" And I went, "Don't start. It wasn't me," So I do remember that vividly. But I joined the Navy in 1975, and I was 16. So a lot of it was just going with mates from school, all gathering down on Castle Meadow, and then going down in, Crombie's and everything down to the game and that. So when you look back, and some of them I'm still in contact with, so it's good.
That's brilliant. Where were you?
I went to the CNS, by the way. I went to CNS school when it was a grammar school.
Oh, I'm at Tavenham High School mainly, but I did go to Hewitt for a bit. So I think Hewitt and CNS were the rivals, weren't they?
Oh yes, we did have a little bit of rivalry between us and the Hewitt. Yes, very short.
There we go. And then where were you stationed in the Navy?
Did my training down at Raleigh, even though down at Ipswich was a training centre as well. But no, they sent me to Raleigh. And then first ship was HMS Tartar. Ended up going to Caribbean a lot on there. And then an aircraft carrier, HMS Bulwark. So I went from ship to ship. But in the meantime, I was based down in Cold Rose, down in Cornwall. I got down there. Don't ask me how. And that's where I met my wife. And our children were born. So
is your wife from Cornwall?
She is. So yes, getting her to come up to Norwich was a big deal. Kicking and screaming. Yes, it was a massive job. But I felt before I left the forces that Norwich represented a better place for us to raise our children, and a job for me, as it turns out. But we've been here. We got here in 1994. Well, they got here. I came back in 1994. We've been here ever since, and we got grandkids and everything now. So it was a good move,
Yeah,
Where
Cornwall's a lovely part of the world. I love Cornwall. It's one of my favourite places.
It is. It's beautiful. It's just a bit bleak during the winter. That's all. During the summer, it's fantastic. It always seemed to rain on a Monday morning when I was travelling into work. Whether I'd be on my Honda 90 or in the car, it was always pouring down with rain. But no, my last 4 years in the forces was as a weapons inspector. Excuse me, with JSIG, and that sent me to Russia for about 13 times, Romania, Hungary, and all of my job was to checking on tanks, aircraft, and artillery pieces. Under the last thing that Maggie Thatcher did before she got ousted was to sign the arms control agreement, and so that was 4 years of just travelling around the former Eastern Bloc, and it was a very enjoyable gig, so to speak. And then at the end of it, I was 40, so that was it. I had to leave the Navy. So,
all right, here we are, Morgan. It's time for your next question,
okay?
sir.
Yeah,
I'm all right.
So
all right?
Yeah, just someone's knocking on my door.
I thought it was me then.
No, and I'm ignoring them. Obviously, I'm on this. So, can you share a memorable story or moment that really captures what the group is all about? So, Forces to Canaries.
Yeah, well, like I said, we've been in existence since 2003. And like I said, it's difficult for us to get together. And so in 2018, we had Armed Forces Day at Carrow Road, and we had 22 of us together behind our flag. Excuse me. Going around the pitch, and some were in uniform, some were in blazers, some were in combats, and it was a great mixture. And it was the biggest gathering we've had of Forces2Canaries members ever that I'm aware of. So that was one. And I'm just looking through my notes here. And then 2023, 3 of us took part in a veterans banger rally from Dover down to Gibraltar. And we bought this 3-litre Jag. It was not fuel efficient. Don't know why we did, but it was and the gearbox kept jumping into limp mode all the time. But when it was running, it was a 3-litre Jag. It was fantastic. So we did that, and we raised over £3,600 for blind veterans for that. So that was another high point. The other one was recently at the ladies' cup final. And one of our serving Royal Navy members, she brought out the FA Cup. You know, when they bring it out, she was in uniform, Navy uniform, and she put it on the plinth. And so we're very proud of her. And when she first joined, she was the first female to join our WhatsApp group. So I had to brief the guys. I said, right, she was only 18 as well. So she's only a young woman. And I said, right, just bear in mind that she's just only 18. You know, this is our first female in the group, so just be careful. Well, after about 10 days, she was giving it out just as well as the rest. I needn't have worried, you know. And now we got 4 or 5 ladies on the group now. But
brilliant.
Well, yes, I would have said those 3 are the standout moments so far.
Being part of several women's football teams in the past, Neville, let me tell you, some of those WhatsApp groups are wild.
I can imagine. I can imagine. Yeah.
I knew what you were going to say then when you said about the 18-year-old girl joining those groups. So yeah, fantastic.
It's a family podcast.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm not going to go into any more detail.
Yeah, that's my shtick every week. I have to talk someone down from a high height and say it's a family podcast. One day I'm going to get a mug with that on. Or
don't have to say anything, just go like that. Yeah.
At least we haven't mentioned Luton yet, Morgan.
No, you have.
Well,
go on. What am I missing here? What am I missing?
And this is exactly what Jez does. This is exactly what frustrates me about Jez. He does this every single time. He'll divert it back to some Luton shtick. So basically, you can see I'm annoyed, but this is our first one of the new season. And Jez has already diverted it back to Luton. So basically, Jez's second team is Luton Town, and every single episode, he's got to get that in there somewhere. Haven't you?
Yeah. Managed to get it in today. So.
Doesn't David Lee from Hong Kong still support them?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, so he obviously famously loved Carlton Morris, didn't he? And when Carlton Morris joins Luton, he decided to follow because I do sort of follow a few Luton Town Facebook groups, and I saw his name appear. I thought, I know that guy from somewhere. So obviously looked at it and I thought, that's David Lee, the Norwich fan. They're from Hong Kong. Obviously, you know, he's full. You know, he goes to the club shop regularly, doesn't he? And when he's over and clears it out. But he, because obviously all of the Luton fans on there when Carlton Morris upped and left Derby were like, see you later, David. Have fun in Derby. But no, he's a Lutonite now. He is a fully converted Lutonian, 100%. But no, I'm pleased he got the opportunity to play with some absolute legends by the sound of it at the FBC. So,
and the same with Cillian, isn't it? When you've had Cillian on, haven't you? From
Cillian,
Cillian.
Cillian's a massive part of Beyond the Barclay. Like he does O'Grady's away days, and like since me, Cillian, like Jez basically harassed people to join his Captain Ahab vanity project, and we've been tied into this ever since. But yeah, Cillian's a massive part of output. And
we're very thankful for what he does.
I see him on, because I go to about 15, 16 away games during the season, much to my wife's annoyance. And yeah, I normally see him, so it's yeah, he's a good lad, and
He is.
I don't think I could be that dedicated living where he does. I couldn't do.
I know it's the same.
100%. No,
I don't think my bank balance would support it anyway. Jeez.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. No, fair play to him. I mean, I think
he's a secret billionaire, Jez.
he must be. He must be.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, get him on the board. Get him on the board. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say he could pay me and Morgan a wage, and we'll do this full time. No, so I think we covered question 5 and it already. So if it's okay with everyone, perhaps we move to. So I'm just checking that we have definitely covered it.
Which one was that?
No, let's go with it. Let's go with it. So. Question 5 is, what kind of support have you received from Norwich City or the wider fan base, and how important has that been to your mission?
We have over the years, it's got much better, the relationship with us and Norwich City, I must admit, and we're grateful of that. And then we got the Armed Forces membership, as we said, which we helped sort out. We have Armed Forces Day at Carrow Road. We have the Remembrance event before kickoff at Carrow Road, all supported by Norwich City. And like I said, the head of support and engagement, public affairs, Elliot King, has been very supportive. So's Diane, and like I said, we got the chair, the supporters panel as well. So all across the board, I think we do get support, and we're very grateful of that. And long may that continue.
No, definitely. I don't know why this reminded me of the story, but the Remembrance Day, I absolutely, it gets you put the hairs on the back of your neck, isn't it? When the last post gets played. And I always remember the poor lad at Nottingham Forest a few years ago that played it, but I think the emotion got the better of him, and he got some stick for that unfairly. I think what Nottingham Forest did really well was they then put a video out of him alone in the City ground playing it, and just made a massive thing of it, and made him probably feel a million times better for that, if that makes sense. But I don't remember that.
No, I don't remember that, but fair play to Nottingham Forest, because what he was doing is very nerve-wracking in front of 30,000 people, and so you shouldn't slate someone for that. They're only trying to do the best, and that, and obviously they repaired it with him doing it on his own. So fair play to the club.
And I mean, it's going to sound like I do absolutely everything, but I used to play the bugle, and it's so difficult to play because it's three or 4 different what do you call them? Levels, I guess, but there's a different word for that.
Hang on, you played the bugle?
Played lots of brass instruments, my friend.
I don't know any of this, Neville.
Oh, right, it's brand new information, is it?
Yeah, that's why I'm shocked.
Trombone, tuba, trumpet.
Really?
Piano. Yeah, very musical.
Oh. I didn't know any of this.
Every day's a school day, Morgan.
There you go. Yeah.
You think you know someone after 6 months?
And it wasn't, well, and it wasn't the point I was going to lead into, but it is incredibly difficult. And as Nev said, it's even more difficult when you're doing it in front of 40,000 people. It probably was at City Ground. But yeah, no, fair play. But no, I think that's good, Nev. I think in terms of, do you want to go on to the next one, Morg?
Yeah, Morgan.
Morg.
You've never called me Morg. It's because he called you Ned, and so he carried that forward.
Right, okay.
But also Morg mode.
Anyway, no.
Yeah. Anyway,
looking ahead, what are your hopes or plans for the futures of Forces2Canaries, and how can others get involved or support the group?
Right, yes, got quite a big. Right. I'm going to have to read this off here. We've just gone through a big revamp, as I said, on the committee, and which I'm very pleased. And we brought in a social media manager, we brought in a welfare officer, and they've done a great job between the two of them. And we have representatives for the Navy, Air Force, and the Army to get the message across to serving personnel in those 3 services. What I am looking forward to, and I'll probably use this as a way to plug it, I'm looking for a social / event manager to get the social side going for Forces2Canaries. And I want other people to get involved doing it. The rest of us on the committee could do it, but I would like someone else to do it. So that's my big search at the moment. But we want to continue our good relationship with the club and other groups, and then hopefully our membership will continue to grow. It was only 2 or 3 months ago, I remember looking, we had 275 members. We've gone up 35 members, which is equivalent to 2 years membership in about 4 months. So all of a sudden it's exploded, and it's great. We do raise money for charity, namely at the Royal Norfolk Show and the Cossey Fete at the showground. And we've just adopted a new charity called Halsey House, which is a care home for veterans and spouses of veterans. And there's about 70 members there. But they're full of RAF, Army, Navy guys, who served way back when. And we've made a couple of visits there. We've already raised £700 for them via the Royal Norfolk Show. We matched what we raised that day. So, yes, we've just given them £700. We'll do some more fundraising in September. But this will be a long-term association with Halsey House of brilliant staff there, very dedicated. And it's up in Cromer. As you're going into Cromer, get to the little mini roundabout, turn right, it's there. It's a fantastic building. Used to be a hospital during World War I and World War II. The RBL had bought it, and they've done great things with it, really well decorated, and it just seems, you are in a care home, but it's got that welcoming feel about it. So that's where we are there. How can people join us? Well, people can apply to join us via our website, forces2canaries.org.uk, if you'd like to put that there. And that'll come, there's a page there if you'd like to join Forces2Canaries, and the email will come to me. And yes, we'll welcome. I've put the other day, and like I say, update every month, and I think on this monthly I've got 7 new members, 3 of them on the same day. So it's just yes. And another shout out to my son Michael, who does our website. So because I get it for free, but I have to give him some shout outs for it.
No, it makes perfect sense. I think is obviously, before I hand over, because we will do the random question of the week. I think it's always nice to have a bit of fun to finish with.
Okay.
So prepare yourself physically and mentally for that, Neville.
Okay.
But just before we do that, is there anyone else you want to give a shout out to that we haven't previously?
No, not really, because I've given shout-outs to Laura, Michelle from the committee, to Tom, Eilish, Lee, and Sean. That's the committee at the moment, and we're getting to grips with that. Well, we're changing our logo, by the way.
Okay.
Yes, we're going through a logo change, so hopefully in the next couple of months we'll have a new logo, because I want to buy a new Forces2Canaries football kit. But there's no point in buying one until we get the logo. So that's what we got at the moment. That's what we got at the moment. But we can't use it because it's got the MOD logo underneath officially. And we haven't had permission. Plus, it's got the Queen's crown.
I see.
So we thought, right, we'll completely revamp it, and that's what we're doing. And any other shout outs? My son, obviously, Mrs. T. She puts up with a lot. 45 years. We went for our 45th wedding anniversary, and down at Swan at Ringland, and I looked out the window and I thought, I recognise that fella. And it was Liam Manning and his 2 coaches. After that, the Battle of Colney against, was it Northampton, when Brad Hills So I said to Debbie, I said, give me 5 minutes. I'm just going to have a chat with Liam. Oh, she went, So stood there and have a chat with him, shook his hand, all 3 of them, and nice guys. So it was good to say hello, and they probably won't be going back to Ringland again because there's other people coming up for selfies and all sorts, Of
course.
So yes, I think that's about it as far as shout outs go.
I always remember
if I've forgotten anyone, I apologise.
Of course, no, and I always remember that's the Swan in Ringland. It turned into like this really random Australian restaurant, and they served like crocodile and.
It was something of Oz, wasn't it? Before
that's it.
How do you know that, Jez?
Well, because I used to live quite close to there, obviously in Horsford at the time, and
it
go to school in Taperam, so it's really close to that.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, amazing. Right,
kangaroo burgers and everything, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah, it was unbelievable. It was. I can't remember if I had anything exotic, shall we say, in there, but yeah, Morgan, it's time. Turn the chair around, boy.
Is it? I can't believe you said that.
Enjoy, Neville.
Sorry. We're going to start as we mean to go on, aren't we?
We are. Yeah.
Random question of the week. So you're behind enemy territory. Let's imagine you're in Ipswich town centre. You haven't got a phone. You've got no carrier pigeons. You've turned the light on. That's good. So you're getting serious.
You're just looking a little bit. Yeah, I needed some more light on the situation. Yeah, go on, Ipswich Town. Yeah,
you've got no mobile phone.
Yeah,
you've got no train ticket out of there. You haven't got the internet. What two former Norwich players would you have in this predicament to get you out of Ipswich Town?
Get me out of Ipswich Town. Right. So.
Behind enemy lines. Sorry, I like Ipswich Town. I should have made that clear.
So, yeah. Well, I always say to my guys, make sure you got all your jabs up to date before you go down there. I have to say, in defence of those lot down the road, at least they give us a pub to go to before the game, and there's always the pub at the station to go to. And they receive us very well. Well, one would be Grant Holt. I'd always have him. And do you know what? Because I don't think many people mess with him. Was Duncan Forbes.
Quality choices.
He was. I met him on a couple of occasions. A lovely guy. But he was hard as nails. He really was on the pitch, and he didn't take prisoners. So, yeah, I think I'll take Grant and Duncan Forbes. Yeah,
great shout, Jez.
I think it would have to be the duo from a few years ago, Pukki and Buendia. So Pukki just because why not? I think he'd just bamboozle people when he walks out, and Buendia because he loved the ruck, didn't he, Buendia? I think you could literally, push him about for about 10 minutes and he'd just switch.
I'd go for Houlihan because he's a magician, get us out of town.
Yeah.
And Bradley Johnson because he's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's tough. He's tough as nails. Yeah.
And he scored that amazing goal in the playoff. Was it one of the playoff games?
It wasn't. It was just a normal game. Just a normal game. The ball came across and he smacked it into the roof of the net. Is that the one?
I think it might have been the same season, possibly, but it was.
It was. Yeah.
But it wasn't the playoff game.
No. So.
Johnson and Houlihan for me. We're going to get absolute pelters when it comes to talking to Ipswich fans in the Beyond the South stand, aren't we?
I've got one already, and it's going to be a David Brent fest. So,
Oh, that's the point. I think they've got a fans forum coming on, and I'm dying to ask Harry Darling, is it?
Yep.
If he could become captain, because Forces2Canaries are very avid fans of
Blackadder.
Yes.
And let's make him Captain Darling. That would just be great. It really would.
I love it.
I love the Norwich City links with that program with Stephen Fry.
Yeah,
Melchett.
Yeah, he opened up the Line and Castle, didn't he?
I remember that.
I went to that, and I'm a great fan of Blackadder and Stephen Fry. Yeah. Anyway, me and a mate of mine, John Rogers, who's big into walking football like myself, and that said, "Come on, let's go and have a chat with him and a photograph." And we did. We had a photograph taken. It was very, very nice. And as I was going, I said, "Blackadder goes forth, brilliant." And he went, "Eh?" And and it was just brilliant. It was just, and I really, you went up in my estimation. I just pissed myself. Sorry, I edit that.
No, that's fine. We can, unless you want us to take it out, we're happy to keep any swears.
Okay, fine. Yeah, no, that's no worries.
It's fine.
Yeah, just really, really funny. So yeah, good guy. And
all I can add to that is Wibble.
yeah. The 2 pencils up the nose. Yes, yeah. Yeah.
I think that Blackadder 4 series. I mean, it was so funny, but it's so poignant at the end, isn't it? When they actually go over at the top. It's one of my favourite TV moments.
Yeah.
They really did that really well, and So we used to sit in the mess, and where were we? We were at Scampton, I think it was, near Lincoln, and we'd be there with the odd pint and a short and watching, because didn't have Sky Plus and all that then, so you had to be there to watch it when it was on, So how times have changed.
No, definitely. I think Rick Mayall's always my favourite as well. Lord Flashheart, especially in the it's the second one, isn't it, where he says, "Nursey, love the beard, gives me something to hang on to."
I saw that clip the other day. Actually, I saw that clip the other day.
I love Lord Flashheart.
Yeah, he was funny. He was funny
because I loved obviously all the history stuff. I mean, we're spoiled. Today, actually, I was showing my Danish friend around Norwich, and such rich medieval history and Tudor history, and it's an amazing city. Like, it feeds back into everything, why we love this club, and when people come to Norwich and they come to the football, but they get to experience the city as it's such a unique place. The architecture, everything. It's anyway. I'm going down a rabbit hole. Jez,
Morgan, I agree with you 100%. It's a fantastic city. The closest I come to it is maybe Lincoln, up in Lincolnshire. But it doesn't even come close. But Norwich is fantastic, and I'm very proud to come from Norwich and support Norwich and live in Norwich. So and my wife and kids agree now after all this time. So
amazing. I think that's a brilliant place to finish, gents. So thanks once again. It's been really good to get to hear your stories and find out a little bit more about you. So hopefully we can perhaps meet up at a game now we're acquainted.
Yeah, well, we always in the Queen of Iceni or outside during the summer, but it'd be great. Now I can remember your faces because last time I saw you was at that collector's fair. So thanks so much for having me on. I really enjoyed it.
No, not at all. And we'll share the message far and wide, and hopefully can get you a few more members as well. So
yes, if you could put our website link on there as well, that'd be great. Yeah, and the walking football as well. That'd be great.
Of course.
Yes, 100%. We'll do that. And so this is the bit where Morgan starts creasing a little bit. So I'm going to just drop this on the screen. Please feel free to. Oh my God, you don't like that, do you?
Carry on.
It's on there now. We'll go with it. Please like and subscribe to Beyond the Barclay to get more great content throughout the season. We'll be annoying you throughout the whole year, bringing you some fantastic guests like Neville. If you do want to find out more, please follow our Facebook, Instagram, or X pages. You can watch the show on YouTube and listen to all the shows on our podcast channels. I've been Jez Davies.
I've been Morgan Hewitt, and I'm glad to be back with Beyond the Barclay for another great season of awesome podcasting. Nev?
Yes, thank you.
You've got to say, I've been Neville Townsend.
Oh, sorry. And I've been Neville Townsend, Forces2Canaries. It's been great to be on.